Micron Technology has announced the impending demise of their consumer-focused Crucial brand on Wednesday, just months after the company celebrated its 29th anniversary. I mean, that last bit seems kind of irrelevant. You're always just months away from an anniversary of some sort. 29 seems kind of arbitrary. I'm deleting that from the notes. In a press release, the memory giant stated that Micron has made the difficult decision to exit the Crucial consumer business in order to improve supply and support for our larger strategic customers in faster growing segments. In a nutshell, guess what, gamers? You just ain't that fucking important.
For now.
For now.
Everyone's,
until you come crawling back.
Yeah, everyone's talking about a constant bubble.
Everyone crawls back to gaming.
Yeah.
Name someone who didn't.
How many people have exited? Name someone who's exited.
I mean, Crucial didn't exit, but they did kill their ballistics brand once.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this has been hinted towards
in the cards.
And then
for
now
a while.
they were like, there's a strong reason now.
Well, I don't even think it's strong reason. I think it's just as simple as
EVGA. I don't think counts in this case, guys.
Yeah, they didn't come back.
But they left for like completely different reasons.
Yes,
they didn't leave because there was more profit elsewhere.
Well, yeah, leaving because there's less profit where you are, or leaving because there's more profit elsewhere. They're both technically just different sides of the same coin.
I think they're a little different. Because one of them's like leaving because of opportunity, and the other one's leaving because of the lack of opportunity.
Yeah. Same coin. Different sides.
I think it matters.
Different outcomes.
Yeah.
Shipments of Crucial products are expected to end in 2026, with warranty and support continuing for some time. I'm just bummed, right? Because at the end of the day, we talk about this endlessly. There is an inherent advantage to having more competition in the market, and losing Micron in this space, which I guess technically they haven't announced. Actually, I guess, yeah, technically they haven't announced. So nothing would technically prevent a DRAM module maker from buying Micron DRAM chips.
Which seems like what they want anyways.
Continuing to make modules out of them. It's just that the Crucial brand, the first-party Micron retail brand Crucial, is no longer going to be available to us. And, you know, I might have kind of talked myself out of being quite as bummed about this.
I don't think so. To me, it feels like you're doing less competition. I think there's a lot of, like, if you remember what happened with GPU prices during like 3000 series and whatnot, where they absolutely blew up. And then when that demand started fading, the prices didn't come back down, and then AI started happening, and then they went back up again.
To be clear,
this feels like a opportunity to crank DRAM prices.
To be clear, the AI price bubble in memory is absolutely going to be felt for a very long time.
Yeah.
I'm not questioning that. I just mean the loss of the Crucial brand specifically.
Oh, yeah, whatever.
Maybe they weren't that crucial. Like, you can still buy memory from Corsair. You can still buy memory from, I don't know, Patriot. Yeah, I mean, man, you've experienced this, right? You show up at Computex, and every year you walk the trade show floor there's probably like a dozen memory brands you've never heard of.
But you're probably looking at 3 memory brands worth of virtual chips. Probably. There's like
you got your Samsung, your SK Hynix, you got your Micron, you got who am I forgetting, guys? I'm sure I'm forgetting someone.
The Chinese one,
important. Kioxia no longer
Changshin Memory Technologies,
but
that's like a Chinese brand. So I don't know if we're actually seeing those in North American products.
Not around here. How did I forget Samsung? Sorry, yeah, Samsung.
I thought you said Samsung.
Did I? I don't know. Whatever.
I'm not sure.
Kingston, no.
Not HyperX.
Kingston is not an actual DRAM they're not a fab. They're a module packager. G-Skill, same thing. They are a module packager. They're not actually a fab.
Like if I look at, I just popped up Amazon and took a look in the sidebar of
Datto. Sure.
all the brands, Corsair, G-Skill, Team Group, Crucial, Kingston, XPG, Samsung, blah, 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 all the way down.
Yeah.
There's basically 3 brands making all of those chips.
And I mean, I guess, you'll still be, I guess for me, what I'm actually going to miss, I'm going to miss Crucial more probably on the SSD side, because while they've, for the most part, actually recently they've had some really nice Gen 5 drives, but for the most part, Crucial hasn't even necessarily been like the highest performing SSDs, but what they have been is one that I can trust that probably won't be trash. Whereas when I buy an SSD, like when it comes to like, and maybe this is a really weird mentality, but I actually think I care more about the trust that I have in the brand for my SSD than for my RAM. Even though like RAM can have a huge impact, obviously, on system stability and performance.
Yeah, I don't agree. I think
I just don't want. I just don't want to lose my data. And in my gaming system, realistically, my boot SSD probably doesn't matter that much.
Yeah,
because,
that's my point.
Because all of my data is going to be backed up somewhere else. But there's areas where I'm gonna use an SSD that is not my gaming system. And I should run RAID 1, on my boot drive on my NAS.
Well,
but
offsite stuff too. Yeah,
I'd
can be just annoying to have to restore and whatnot.
Yeah. And like RAM, I can run a system stress test. And then I'm going to have a pretty good idea if it works. It doesn't wear the same way that NAND flash does. And NAND and with DRAM, like the way the grading works for it, it's more down to speed. It's more down to performance bins. So if it's like working, it will probably stay working. Like there isn't like a better reliability grade. Whereas with NAND flash, they're graded not just in terms of performance, but they're graded in terms of their reliability, in terms of... So when I'm buying an SSD from a rando brand, I don't know if I'm getting an OCZ agility or if I'm getting... again, so now I'm sitting here going, okay, well, who am I going to then for my definitely using reliable
there's
A-tier NAND in their consumer brand?
Plenty of other options.
Yeah, there's Samsung, who's probably will be fine. Give me another first party one though. Like actually, does SK Hynix? SK Hynix does have their own consumer brand.
Group? Isn't that SK Hynix?
No. No, SK Hynix has their own consumer brand, but I don't think they have a presence in North America.
Team Group. Does Team Group just use them a lot? I remember there being something about that.
SK Hynix. I'm gonna check. Oh yeah, SK Hynix is in North America now. Okay.
It's just first party branded.
What the heck is this? Oh,
Clev. That's what I was thinking. Not Team Group. Clev. My bad. My bad. I meant Clev. I don't know why I screwed those up.
It's Dan. Hi. He's the problem. It's Dan. Check this out. Oh, that's Luke. I pressed Linus laptop. Nice. So I was, so SK Hynix, definitely. Also, what is this?
Huh. Oh my.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Yeah, Clev is closely tied to SK Hynix. It's from the brand Core, which is, they distribute SK Hynix memory, blah, 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 blah.
Got it. Okay, cool. Anyway, still a downer. We're never going to root for a company exiting a space because...
No, this is bad. Yeah.
Because from our point of view, more competition is more better.
But it's not like...
It's clear where their focus has been anyway.
Yeah.
Like they could have kept the Crucial brand and just quietly like not manufactured anything. And they might not have had the same, headline splash that they're getting now, but the effect would have been exactly the same because they're only making so many wafers and then they choose what to make on those wafers and they're obviously going to target their commercial customers.
Yeah, and it's been if you've been paying attention at all, which I don't really blame you too much for not, but if you have, it's been pretty brutally and blatantly obvious that nobody in the DRAM space cares about you at all. Just like,
it's literally a commodity.
Be super clear, and it has been constant price fixing for like getting close to like 30 years. Like this is not
constant, but a cycle. There's been a cycle of, hey, these guys all got caught price fixing.
They've been caught price fixing every like 5 to 8 years for like 30 years.
I think it's been
to
at
me
least
that feels constant.
3 times that I can think of in the time that I've been a PC enthusiast. But when I say it's literally commodity, I do mean it is like literally a commodity. Like you can get an account on DRAM Exchange and you can watch the tickers for all the various DRAMs. And that's been a thing again for as long as I've been part of the industry. So the good thing though, the good news is that as a commodity, when it falls, it actually does tend to fall. We may have a shot. Like
this might be one of the stepping stones towards resisting that fall.
Oh, it'll resist it. I mean, remember the, what was it? I think it was the Thailand floods that wiped out
that was rough.
Over half of the global production capacity for the motors that spin hard drives. That was a thing back in, what was it, like 2010 or something like that?
Really?
Was it that recently? When were the...
I thought we were. I often gauge news based on when and where we were talking about it on Wednesday.
2011. I'm closest without going over.
Yeah,
Let's go.
That's true.
No, seriously though, it was
were
around.
We still suffering the effects at that time, maybe.
Probably.
That might make sense.
So that's exactly what I was going to say. The Thailand floods. So hold on. They started in July, intensified in September and October, finally receded by January 2012. So we were actually,
maybe that's it.
We were actually both close to the period. So during that time, hard drives went from like historic lows. Like they were dirt cheap. It was sort of comical. Like you were basically buying a hard drive for practically the like scrap metal price of a hard drive. And then they went way up to the point where like at NCIX, our strategy for trying to have any hard drives in stock at hopefully some price that anyone would want to pay was we actually enlisted people internally to just go buy like retail hard drives, and like external hard drives, and then shuck them so that we could put them in bags. I don't know if we ever actually did it, but we certainly talked about it. Just to like everyone was like land grabbing. It was like the apocalypse and people like hoarding ammunition and canned food. But it was
I remember people buying the enclosures from Costco and shucking them. I remember consumers doing that
because basically every drive that was out in the retail channel already that was sold at the dirt cheap prices had just doubled or tripled in value. Like it was insane what happened. And it was a long time. So on the one hand, like, yes, part of why it took so long to recover was that you don't just build a motor factory like overnight. That's just not how that works. So it took time for them to ramp production back up. And the other part of it is that they took their sweet time ramping production back up because I remember WD was probably the biggest beneficiary of it. Like their stock went bonkers.
The profit maxing at the time was wild
because the actual cost of the hard drive didn't really change. It was just that the supply got choked out. Yeah. So the demand went way up. So the profit margins that they were able to make went way higher.
I thought you were done. I was going to say, I understand that you're pointing out you can buy commodity DRAM, blah, 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 blah. But it really feels like a while ago, Sam Altman said that they're doing great stuff with like tech innovation, but they need to start doing financial innovation. And that was a little bit before this whole circular money funnel thing started happening. And it feels like there are a lot more facets to this instead of just trading money in a circle. I think there's a lot of things happening. I think this is one of them where NVIDIA is deciding to decouple their shipments, so they're not shipping DRAM with their chips anymore. Micron is taking Crucial out of the market. All this stuff is happening. It feels like they're trying to pump RAM like as hard as they can.
Oh, I don't.
Along with everything else.
I don't think they're pumping RAM. I think they're just.
Something's
I think
going
there
on.
is a shortage. I think is what it boils down to, because there's a wafer shortage right now.
Sure.
Like they can't get enough.
Just like the NVIDIA one is weird to me because that's just more opportunity for NVIDIA to mark things up.
Well, what it is, it's just that they can't get it. They want to ship GPUs. They're not going to stop shipping GPUs.
I don't know how much they care about shipping consumer GPUs.
Well, no, but they'll ship any GPU. They just want to ship GPUs. And if supply of DRAM for their packaged GPU DRAM packet, or VRAM, I guess it'd be in this case, but whatever, basically DRAM, dynamic random access memory. So if they can't get the supply of the other widget, like think what happened to the car industry during the silicon shortage during COVID. They just had these almost finished cars that were just waiting on processors. I feel like
that's the actual problem here. I could be wrong, but I don't feel like that's the actual
definitely
problem
part of it. 100% it's part of it.
Maybe.
There's no way it's not part of it, because remember too, it's not just the supply, it's also not knowing what the cost is. So it's really hard to price something where you can't get it, and also when you finally do get it, it might cost more than what your anticipated quote was before. NVIDIA doesn't want to carry that liability. So if they just ship the GPUs and they make it someone else's problem, then they don't have to worry about that.
I just think it's, sure, maybe. I think it's part of a series of steps that are going to result in DRAM prices being permanently higher than they were before.
So I would say that, except that the long term, the like zoom out from the crisis we're in now, zoom out view is we've been through shortages before, and DRAM's overall price trend towards getting way cheaper over time.
My point is that they're making systemic changes that might resist that in the future. Crucial being out of the market, and NVIDIA not packaging things together, and certain other steps that are happening as well.
Well, I mean,
also agree that I think it's going to fall as this whole AI thing's like rather clearly a bubble. That's going to pop at some point.
So there's a couple things. So one is like Samsung has never been in the consumer DRAM market, or I shouldn't say never actually. In the DDR1 days, you could buy consumer Samsung memory modules, but I think DDR2 and onward, definitely you couldn't with DDR3. They went OEM only, and they went enterprise only. And that clearly has not had a devastating impact on the consumer DRAM market, other than when they've been caught price fixing along with the rest of the industry.
Yeah.
But again, so the macro trend of DRAM pricing marching ever downward, in spite of there having been shortages, there having been price fixing scandals, there having been major manufacturers of DRAM chips not participating in the retail market. All of these things have been true at various points in the past, and DRAM has marched ever downward, other than blips. And the reason that I think that this time will be no different is that, unlike the Thailand floods, where we did see elevated hard drive pricing for a very long time, they rode that wave as long as they could with the major hard drive players. You've got WD and Seagate sitting there, kind of going,
yeah, who's gonna crack first?
Who's gonna blink?
Yeah.
Who's gonna blink? Who wants the volume back? But the PC industry, the electronics industry in general, always wants the volume back. And unlike what happened with hard drives, DRAM production has not really been disrupted, other than the silicon wafer shortage that's going on right now. So there's a supply.
Yeah, it's just so much easier for them to control it, because with the hard drives it was the motors, right? At least in this case, with DRAM here it's nothing. There's just only 3 players, and I've seen some comments talking about like, oh yeah, but it's a free market, so someone will just come in and undercut them. Blah 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 blah. It's not going to happen. There's 3 fabs. Dude.
Actually, the Chinese might. They're working hard at it.
They've got one at least.
Yep.
Yeah.
And even if they don't, I mean, it's a volume game. Once you've got your fab running, they will at times. It doesn't happen that often, but they'll run them at a loss if that's the commodity market. It's not that dissimilar from industries like farming, which is kind of crazy to think about. But once you've made the investment, once you've got all the infrastructure, once you've got all the trained workers, for a short period of time, it can actually be less impactful on your business to run it at a loss in the shorter term in order to starve out your competitors. That's how we ended up with so much consolidation in the industry. So I am hopeful in the medium to longer term. In the short term, this is going to suck.
Yeah.
A lot. And so I think we're 100% aligned there.
Yes.
And
have you guys done that thing yet?
Hold on. And one thing that's going to suck for maybe the short to even medium term is that while they are not turning off any capacity, other than what is constrained by a lack of wafers, the active decision appears to have been made to not build any more capacity. I saw at least one of them hit the news for that, one of the major DRAM guys.
I haven't seen
because if they built more capacity, basically they run it. You just run it. You don't just let a fab sit idle. And once that happens, again, commodity, I remind you, prices will be suppressed by increased capacity. But for now, it's going to be a really, really, really rough ride. What do you got there?
Yeah, 2 of the biggest DRAM suppliers are skeptical about increasing production as they eye long-term profitability.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't you?
From WCCF Tech.
Everyone pretty much with 2 functioning brain cells to rub together knows that this AI thing is not going to continue on its parabolic trend forever.
Samsung and SK Hynix. Those are the 2 companies.
Like if you listen to Sam Altman talk about it, he's like, AI forever, AI to infinity and beyond,
also,
right? Like
they kind of showed their concerned hand a little bit.
They
recently.
have lately.
Yeah.
So if you were a DRAM manufacturer and you were looking at the currently scaling demand for AI DRAM, would you go, I've seen this movie before. No, I am not going to 10x my manufacturing capacity, because when the demand inevitably collapses or at the very least levels off, I'm going to be stuck with, half a dozen fabs that I just don't have any demand for. That's going to be a pretty big write-down, the kind that gets me fired. I honestly can't say that I would do anything Winbond. Now, that's a name I've not heard in a long time.
Noki mentioned this in Flowplane chat. Apparently, they're back in the game. They're making DDR4.
Did they ever leave the game, or did they just kind of go quiet?
Maybe they just went quiet. I have no idea.
Winbond. I mean, it's like DFI. Like, DFI totally still exists, right?
Yep.
Like DFI LAN party, like the overclocking motherboards from way back in the day. They're totally still a thing. They do industrial boards.
Yeah, people are saying went quiet. I haven't heard about them in forever.
Winbond, get me some BH5. Let's go.
But yeah, that's interesting.
Get me some overclocking DDR1. Like that's the last time I remember Winbond really showing up on my radar as a consumer anyway.
Yeah, they're specifically saying despite the increasing adoption of DDR5, many industries continue to rely on DDR4 for its proven stability and well-established ecosystem. Winbond's 8 gig DDR4 DRAM is designed for blah, 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 blah. Neat.